Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again. And this time we're going to look at a game called The Berlin Wall. And this was created by Kaneko in 1991. And I don't know that this was seen in American arcades. I definitely never heard of it until MAME came along. But this was suggested by YouTube user Chritopher Sobieniak, if that's how it's pronounced. But it's kind of a fun little update to the old classic Space Panic, in which you dig holes out of the floors on the levels, and you can refill those holes. And what you try to do is get the enemy to fall into those holes, and then you, in this game, you just bash them over the head with a hammer, and you'll kill them, once they fall into the hole. In Space Panic, this is kind of cool. Sales from the game went to the Japanese Red Cross. See, the game tells you here, you dig a hole, you pound a hole with your hammer, and if the enemy falls in, then you use the hammer again, and you'll bash them. Some enemies will take more than one story to fall to kill them. Like you see the colors of the German flag. And curiously, this came out after the fall of the Berlin Wall. But you can play two-player simultaneous play. But yeah, you press the button A, you press it a few times to dig a hole completely, and then you can press the other button to fill it. You can walk over the enemies that fell in a hole.
1, 2, 3.
We'll get started. And look at that red bird. It looks like the predecessor to the Angry Birds. Enemies have different behavioral patterns, and you'll wanna learn those. Here, I didn't really need this. These guys all just take one hit, and they'll leave a treasure item or a prize behind after they die. And this bomb guy creates a ginormous explosion, which can take out multiple enemies. Every enemy that you kill will make an explosion, which can take out other enemies, and you can get a nice bonus for doing that if you take out a bunch of enemies. There is a oh, look at all that stuff I got. Ooh, and I got the item that turns you into a dragon. You can still be killed if you touch an enemy, but you gotta blow fireballs at them, which is nice. There is a hidden trick. You can spell the word Kaneko by breaking certain blocks and collecting a letter that might be left in it. And I think you just get an extra life if you spell Kaneko. I was not able to do it in this game. Now there is a boss enemy, and there is one at the end of each full stage, and I killed him with an explosion, which was awesome. There is an item that is like a bowling ball. It's that black bowling ball at the bottom of the screen. You can pick it up and reuse it as much as you like, and when you drop it, it falls through all levels of bricks straight down, which is awesome, and will kill any enemy that it goes through. And there was another explosion that took out multiple enemies. And there was a hammer power-up that I got. In between all the stages, you will get a little cutscene. Little animated cutscene, goofy. And now we are introduced to the guys that take two stories to drop to kill them. They are a pain in the butt. But as in Space Panic, an enemy will be incapacitated for a little while if they fall in your hole. That ×2 icon that I picked up, I think that gives you double points for the treasures that you collect after destroying an enemy, I believe. And the giant hammer icon, if you pick that up, will make you just require one swing of the hammer to take away one block or to fill it back in, which is cool. If you take longer, especially on the later levels, to complete the level, then multiple enemies will start dropping in, and some of them, when they land, will incapacitate you for about 5 seconds. It'll also, it'll also incapacitate all the enemies. Yeah, I bashed him just down one level and he's still okay. Crap. You can lean over 2 blocks, or lean over a gap, and break the block on the other side. Yeah, these giant guys, you have to have 2 gaps side by side to be able to take them out. Ooh, got him just in time. Excellent. And the tougher enemies to take out, the bigger prize you're gonna get. But those prizes do not stick around very long.
1, 2, 3, 4.
They disappear quickly. There are 10 stages, and then all the sub-stages as well. But yeah, if you can, there's the hammer power-up. See, it just takes one swing. Oh, nice! And there I've got the dragon fireballs again. The tougher enemies will take multiple fireballs to kill. There we go. But they will yield a nice big prize. If you run out of time, you will lose a life. And like I said, on the later levels, the longer it takes for you to complete a level. One more power-up, a big wave, just like you'd see in Bubble Bobble, that can take out multiple enemies at once. And some enemies have their own patterns. Oh crap, I missed that guy. And some of them are vegetables or foodstuffs. There's carrots and green peppers. Kind of funny. And then because I took too long, a boss character appeared. Once you beat the last regular enemy, if there's like some boss character that they dropped on you just because you took longer than they wanted you to, that boss character will die. And you'll get the prize, the nice big prize you're leaving behind. Oh, sweet! Yeah, those prizes do not stick around long. And I got a nice big bonus because of all those enemies I took out with that one explosion. And here's another boss. I guess you can collect letters from Kaneko just by some enemies, some big giant enemies dropping down and freezing you. I don't know how the hell that happens, that crap. But I'm guessing that spelling Kaneko will give you an extra life, because I don't think there's any other way to do it. I don't think you can get it by reaching a certain score. But yeah, there are 10 stages along with all their sub-stages, and on the last excuse me, on the last sub-stage of a stage, there will be a boss fight. And then after you've completed a stage and all its sub-stages, you will get a little animated cutscene. Pretty goofy. It just shows a guy trying to get through the Berlin Wall somehow. Don't stand too close to the edge if you can help it when you've got a gap and you're waiting for an enemy to drop in. Because the enemy can still get you. He can still touch you. Now, I've beaten the level. There we go. Yeah, and remember, you have to make 2 gaps side by side for a big enemy to fall in. Weird. So now we go to stage 3.
1, 2, 3.
And there's like authentic photograph pictures that they show in the backgrounds and sometimes between stages. Ooh, nice. And I get another bonus for taking out multiple enemies with one of those attacks. And now we've got these annoying purple guys and this annoying conveyor belt thing that brings you up and down. These guys hop, and they can hop over your gaps. They can hop down to lower levels if they're jumping through gaps. Really annoying little bastards. Sweet. Well, I took 2 of those guys out. Now I've got my dragon powers. Enemies can sometimes realize that you're trying to shoot at them and will retreat. Some of the enemies are smart, and some of them have patterns. And you'll want to try to learn those. And when they have their own patterns, they're not actively going after you. So keep that in mind. It sucks that those bonus or power-ups, those items, do not last long at all. Gotta get to them quickly. Some of those enemies will actively go after you, and when they see you on the same floor that they're on, they will make a beeline for you. And remember, yeah, you can lean over a gap to hammer an enemy that fell into another gap. And there's that water icon, but I didn't need it because that last giant enemy wasn't intended to be part of that level, but it appeared because I took longer than the game wanted me to. We're not going to play through the whole game because that would take way too damn long. But yeah, that giant hammer is nice to have. This game does not have invincibility at this point in MAME, which kind of sucks, because I wanted to see what would happen if I collected all the letters of Kaneko. But I'm guessing that you just get an extra life. And here's another boss-type character. This game is kind of cute. I kind of like it. Oh boy, I took out a bunch of guys at once. Since I was hounded by that one enemy, I couldn't collect all the treasures, which bites. But yeah, if you can try to link or get one explosion to take out a bunch of guys at once, you'll collect some nice points. Otherwise, you don't really collect a whole ton of points other than the giant prize items that the big enemies leave behind. And now see those gray blocks, you cannot hammer through those. And the way you're going to get these guys is they will fly after you after a short while. Then you can get them. Oh, nice! And that hourglass will restore your time.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you start out with 100 units of time, and if you collect the hourglass, it can bump your time over 100 seconds, which is kind of nice. And you get a bonus at the end of the level with, for how much time you had left. Sweet. And there's the hammer icon. That is a really nice power-up. I like having that hammer. Oh, you little shitbags. Die, alright? Hey, sweet. Yeah, those items should stick around longer than that. Boy, they disappear quickly. Various pictures of Berlin in the background. That explosion is nice. Unfortunately, I can't collect that bonus times 2 icon there. Yeah, Space Panic, when it came out in 1980, was very influential. And it was, of course, influenced by the old Japanese classic Heiankyo Alien, which was kind of released as Digger in the U.S. Very, very similar.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
There's various like political pictures. Not sure what that one in the background is. Are they stealing? Is there a looting going on or something? I can't tell. And now we have this annoying bugger that will fill in your holes. But this game goes on way too long, and I wish there was a more clear-cut way on how to get the letters for Kaneko. Sometimes you can collect them from the bricks, and sometimes you just get them from an enemy stomping, like giant enemy stomping, and I don't know why that is. It's kind of stupid. Sometimes it looks like you can't get down to a certain platform, but you have to break blocks to fall through.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You can fall as far as you like. You won't get hurt. And here's another boss. It's a giant seal, so left me a giant ice cream cone. 1,000 points. But remember, you have to have 2 gaps side by side. And there, I collected an O in Kaneko. They certainly don't appear very often, or the opportunity to get the letters is not presented to you very often at all, which sucks. And again, that's the only way that I know of to collect an extra life. Can't get it through point totals, which is stupid. Other than that, this is a cute game. Like I said, I think it's probably Japan only, or Japan and Europe only, not US. I don't think. Yeah, some enemies, not very many, can shoot a projectile, like that robot throwing boomerangs. And now the guy's trying to blow up the wall, but he didn't get away from the bomb in time. And now we have certain monsters that need to fall 3 stories.
1, 2, 3.
Good God. Interesting little enemies. They have their various behavior patterns, and you'll want to learn them. The squid. They're cool. You can make the enemies fall on top of each other to kill them as well. And this guy needs 3 stories to fall through. But when the big enemies appear, you might be able to make them fall on top of the tough enemy, or make their explosion kill them. Yeah, see, I needed him to fall 1 more story. And now octopus boss appears up there. But yeah, remember, any of the big enemies, you need to have 2 gaps side by side. Shit. Oh. Now he's hot on my tail. Grr, bastard. The guy that you have, you can continue where you leave off, I believe. But I'm not gonna here. I will show you the cutscenes later on in the game. You gotta put in your initials. There's some, I guess, German vowels or something that you can select. I don't know how you pronounce the vowels, but I'm just gonna go with all capital letters. Well, I hope you enjoyed your weekend. We'll, like I said, we'll look at the cutscenes, and we'll look at the ending later on. Goofy little cutscenes. And again, yeah, you can play two-player simultaneous play. Those guys that we saw last time, weird. When you knock them down, they turn into like 5 or 6 guys, little purple guys. Weird.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2.
Come together. Or maybe it says come to get her. Little penguins. More angry birds. Another cutscene. Wasn't expecting another wall. This is stage 9 and its sub-stages. It's that robot that throws boomerangs again. And there's a fireball that can make flames appear on the floor, and you'll die if you touch them. And I guess when you have a mistake, you have to start again. I think if you run out of lives, you have to start on stage 10-1, no matter what sub-stage you left off of. And now we get to see the ending. Stage all clear. And that's supposed to be Bill Clinton, I guess. Is it? But that was The Berlin Wall by Kaneko in 1991. Kinda cute take on Space Panic. Suggested by YouTube user Chritopher Sobieniak. I hope you enjoyed your weekend, and I hope you enjoyed The Berlin Wall, which was no longer a thing by the time this game came out, I believe. Game is over. Well, that was The Berlin Wall by Kaneko in 1991. Interesting little take on Space Panic. Well, this is Crazy Climber 80 saying thanks for watching The Berlin Wall by Kaneko in 1991. I hope you enjoyed your weekend, and I will catch you later with another video. Have a good one, folks. Bye-bye.